Hi, I'm Freya and this is my April reading summary with short reviews. In April I read 13 books and this is part 3, so this is the last 5 of them. The first book I want to talk about is The Girl in My Dreams. Now this book asks the question, can you have a romance book where your female main character is in a coma for the first 30% of the book? And the short answer is yes, you can write a book like that, but it's not really a romance because the building relationship stage just doesn't really happen, so it kind of feels unsatisfying. Okay, the next book I read was Crazy Rich Asians. This book is my favorite book I read this month. It has all that fluffy, light, glossy goodness of a 2000s rom-com movie. I don't feel like I need to say too much about the plot because, you know, it is a movie, so you probably have some familiarity with the story, but I would highly recommend this book even if you have seen the film. The next book I read was Protest. This is a wild book. This has a 72-year-old grandma who gets arrested and has to spend some time in prison. So yeah, wild concept, wild ride, all around pretty wild. The next book I read was a book of poetry, Poems of a Broken Woman. Now, I respect that the intent behind this book was to write about the author's experience of trauma, and I don't doubt that that's a very hard thing to do. But it wasn't the best book of poetry I've ever read. A few poems I connected with, most I was kind of like, And then the last book I have to talk about, the title is hard, The Hogman's Humilichi and the Angel Wing Massacre. It's a sci-fi book, and it is also pretty wild, and I found some scenes quite like laugh out loud funny, which always impresses me when a book can move me to like issue a response verbally. So that was all the books I read in April. I hope you enjoyed.